Super Duty. You're looking at 4 engines now, the 6.8, the 7.3, the regular 6.7 diesel, and the high output 6.7 diesel. So it's an interesting combination to put together here. I mean, it's a long time since we had 4 engines in the Super Duty class, but I'll give you some specs on the gas tanks and all that stuff here in a little bit. But there's so much to go over and cover here. This is a 360-degree camera, shows the sides of your trailer. This is one of the coolest things, and I've seen this on Chevys for several years now, and I love it. But it actually has a camera underneath your outside mirror, and you can see the whole side of the trailer all the way back. It is so good. This is really a good safety thing. You can see how far away you are from things, where the traffic is next to your trailer. Oh, this is just fantastic. And this shows the picture-in-picture. You can see the trailer tongue out the back camera behind your cab, see what's going on. Now here's the advantage of a big screen in the center stack like that, is you can touch it and move things around and see what's happening in front of you. Now here's the rock crawl program. I've seen this on the Bronco. It shows you where your tracks are, so you know where you're going. You can find exactly what's happening. Another awesome feature is that Pro Trailer Backup Assist. And now it's even cooler. Instead of backing up with the trailer, you actually will back your truck up where your ball will match your coupler, and it'll use your brakes and use your steering, and man, it is too cool. This is the Pro Trailer Backup Assist, where you're backing up the actual trailer, not just the truck. You can back around corners. You turn a little knob instead of a steering wheel, so it turns the opposite way. The steering. Now this feature will amaze your friends, your neighbors. Push the button on your key fob and bam, the tailgate drops. Push the button again and it goes back up. Man, that's so cool when you got your hands full of groceries and you're trying to get back. Yes, another one of my favorite features, heads-up display. Yes, Ford is the last to get it, but it's wonderful. I love it. It's such a safety thing. You don't have to look down, look in your gauges, look in your dash. You just look straight ahead. Just like a jet fighter. I love it. Well, the features just keep coming on. This is so cool. This is where you put in the height, width, and length of your trailer and tells you which bridges you can go under, like a semi-truck does. So important for them. It's so important for these 12.5-foot RV trailers. The next video here shows all these new Super Duties pulling trailers. And of course, that's what the Super Duties are for, is trailers. 90% of the people use them for trailers, like me. Now, they got 4 engines this year, which is interesting. The 6.8, which I guess is the baby brother to the 7.3 we got a few years ago. Both cast iron blocks, aluminum heads, both push rod with rocker arms, 2 valves per cylinder. Hopefully the 6.8 get a little better fuel mileage. That hopefully is the reason why they're doing it. And then on the diesel side, you're both 6.7, and they're same thing, push rod, rocker arms, but there's 4 valves per cylinder. There are 2 valves on the gas engines. And so then we have the high output, the 6.7 power stroke. So 4 engines, and those the new ones are, well, actually it's charged air on this traditional 6.7, and the other one's got a water jacketed single turbocharger with charged air, which is, I guess, the intercooler. And here's that rear step for the bumper. I actually put those kind of bumpers on my truck. I like them, what Chevy's done with the Avalanche and their Chevy. And now also copied Chevy up front, which is fine. I'm glad they're doing this because that makes things get better. That side step up by the cab will get you into the crossover toolbox. And look at looky. This is that, instead of having it fold over in half like that, 150, it actually slides around towards you. And it moves around a little bit. And then here's that 2 kilowatt plug-in. So you can actually power some saws and a few other things. It won't charge a house, but it'll charge a lot of other things. Your mini refrigerator, your big screen TV to watch your tailgate football parties. And best of all, you can use your laptop on it or eat your McDonald's. I used to make one of these for my trucks years ago.
Don't go away, Mr. Truck.tv. We'll be right back.
And now we're going to get into a few things on these commercial sides. This thing will keep track of everything. It'll tell you what your crane's up to. It'll tell you how many hours your people are working, how long the truck was shut off and turned on. And it's kind of like a big brother system going on here for you people who want to be really efficient with your commercial vehicle.
Good morning. First, let me do a little introduction. My name is Mike Pruitt. I'm the chief program engineer on some of our larger, more dedicated commercial vehicles. I wanted to talk about the Upfit integration system. So just yesterday, I was down in Sandusky, Ohio for, we call it an NTEA event. And that a couple times a year, we get together, bring in all the upfitters, and there was probably about 700 crane status, or I can actually deploy the outriggers possibly. Whatever, the upfitters are going to be able to program that. Probably more exciting is that the upfit is now going to be able to send a request to the truck to command the truck. And think about when I got my crane deployed or my bucket truck or the outriggers, I don't want it coming out of park. So the request is don't come out of park until somebody has, stowed the crane. Or I want to control the idle and get me up to 1500 RPM because I know my PTO and my hydraulics are going to be asking for that power. So the upfit can start commanding the truck. And then in the future, you can imagine this upfit is going to be able to send critical data back to my fleet managers. So imagine how many hours are on that hydraulic pump. How many times has that crane been operated? And that's an integral part of them maintaining their maintenance schedule for the upfit, as well as the truck. So now we'll be able to send that to the manager. Talk about onboard scales. So onboard scales is going to let the driver know when they put the weight and how it compares to the payload for the truck. And then they're also going to be able to zero that out, and when they hook up the trailer, they're going to be able to get the tongue weight. And that's going to be really important when you talk about the weight distribution on that trailer and where it's optimal for that. And Aaron's going to talk a little bit more about that later. 3 ways we're going to demonstrate the onboard scales. One is through the tail lamp. So there's going to be a bar, and as you put in the load, it's just going to go up with the tail lamp. So half the payload is going to be half up. So you can see it on the outside. You'll be able to see it on the screen in the center if you want to. You can just check your payload. How do I do? How do I compare? And then third, with the Ford Pass app, you'll be able to look at it on the app. See if your kid is overloading the truck.
Or your mother-in-law.
Something really important to our commercial vehicle customers is the safety features, protecting the asset, right? So automatic emergency braking is now either standard or available on every one of the trims. We're bringing in front and rear brake assist, so that's helpful in those small speed collisions, important to those guys. And then adaptive cruise control with stop and go and lane centering. So helpful to keep this thing centered on the road. We're bringing in ProPower on board. So this is an onboard generator with this vehicle. You need to go to those remote work sites. You're going to be able to power your tools, your lights, air compressor, anything you want, as long as you got fuel in the tank. And you don't have to worry about going out to those remote work sites. You've got the whole thing. 2 kilowatts is 5 times more than the competition for our power. We're also offering the ProPower on board, even on the chassis cabs. So we're going to provide the upfitters with about 6 meters of wire, and they're going to have the duplex outlets, so they can actually integrate that into their upfit as well. Power takeoff, I talked about this a couple times when I talked about the hydraulics. This is really important to our commercial customers, and we're now made that PTO standard across all the chassis cabs. And then last but not least, we're introducing for the first time tire pressure monitoring system on our F600. So you'd say, Mike, tire pressure monitoring, there's nothing new about that. But when you get into the heavy class of these vehicles, especially up in like the Class 6, these tires actually have a steel construction in them. And that's always made these sensors in the TPMS pretty elusive. Now we've got a solution for that. So for our F600, it's going to have an integrated tire pressure monitoring system. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron to talk about the ultimate towing machine.
So what we focused on when we developed the all-new Super D, it usually is we focus on the capability, right? It's all about how much it tows. We pivoted within Ford. It's not as important how much a truck can tow, but really the experience that the customer has while towing. Okay? And I'm going to talk to you about several reasons why and how we've been able to make hard towing feel easy with the all-new Super D. So in order to do that, when we set out to start working on the new Super Duty, we spent a lot of time with customers in the field towing their trailers. Many hours were logged of us working with customers, and then we brought all that information back, and we as a team within Ford obsessed over the towing experience. First thing is 360 degree camera system for the trailer. There's two items related to hitching. First is Smart Hitch that Mike mentioned. The other one is Pro Trailer Hitch Assist. From a safety standpoint, we ended up taking and extending our blind spot information system to all trailers. We also developed a trailer theft security system. We brought to the all-new Super Duty a head-up display that has multiple screens. Okay, first in industry to bring a towing screen with specific towing information. Also, we've developed trailer navigation. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples of how the all-new Super Duty makes hard towing feel easy. And so then get this, here's the pain point that's addressed. With the 360 trailer camera system, no longer does the family need to get out and yell, "Come on back, yep, you're okay, come on back, or stop," right? And all as the neighbors are thinking, yeah, that's what I would have to do. But reality is, everybody can stay in the truck, and they're right at the command center. They'll have the benefit of the 360 camera system around the trailer, and they'll be able to back it right in without help. Okay, so that just purely takes that huge pain point out of going on vacation with a camper. Furthermore, inside the trailer, precious cargo, the thoroughbred Mustang at times, or the metal Mustang at times, right? The customers are hauling. 2 cameras can be mounted inside the trailer to monitor that cargo, to make sure that nothing is happening, being damaging, or in harm's way of that cargo. And the customer can access that at any point in time while driving. Okay, so that information is available. The next thing is to move to is the Pro Trailer Hitch Assist. So it's for conventional trailers, and it's a system that automatically detects the hitch ball on the trailer, the hitch on the trailer, and it will automatically steer the vehicle to have an alignment of the hitch ball directly to the hitch of the trailer. So there's no more back and forth maneuvering manually by the customer to get the hitch ball aligned to the hitch of the trailer. And there's been times where I'm like, I think I'm close enough, but I get out there and it's not lined up well enough. So then it's all of that turmoil and pain point of alignment for hitching has been addressed. The next one is the Smart Hitch that Mike mentioned. Hey, when you think of the safety of towing and the need for proper weight distribution, the Smart Hitch system, which also is tied in with the Onboard Scales, the benefit is to, when we're going and embarking on loading up this camper for our vacation, where do we put the barbecue? Where do we put the cooler full of food for the whole weekend? Where do we put the bikes? Where do we put everything else that we're taking? It depends on where the customer actually puts it, can throw off the required distribution of the truck and trailer. Okay, so now typically the experience from a customer would be, hey, they're Thursday night, they're looking to load up, everything's ready to go, so tomorrow morning we can all leave as a family. It usually is by 11 p.m. that night, after a long day, the customer is thinking, hey, you know what, I gotta take this truck and trailer around the block to make sure that it tows okay. No longer do you even have to worry about that from a weight distribution standpoint. As they're loading the cargo in the trailer or in the truck, they can carefully load it so that the system is saying you're good or you're not so good for tongue load on the trailer. So before you tow the first mile, you know that you're optimized for the proper weight distribution of the trailer. Let's go one more, trailer navigation. So imagine this. Remember the 600 miles that I mentioned that we're going to our destination? What we're gonna do is we're gonna program into the navigation of the vehicle the destination. And usually what it would do is program fastest route. The fastest route, though, has us on a route that has a bridge that isn't tall enough for this trailer. Okay, and as a customer, imagine that pain point. There'll be one of 2 scenarios. Either they'll get to the bridge and they'll not notice that the bridge is too low, and talk about spoiler alert there. They'll tear the roof of the trailer off. It's one scenario. Second scenario is if they're fortunate enough to see that they can't make it through the bridge, they'll end up stopping. And here it is, they'll be like looking up at the bridge saying, okay, now what? especially because they realize, hey, I have this huge truck and trailer and I'm on a 2-lane road. My only choice is to like back up, mile, 2, till they can get to a driveway that they can turn this big rig around. No longer is that pain point even present because trailer navigation, it takes into account the weight, the width, the height, and the length of the trailer. And it'll program a route specifically for those parameters. So at times it'll be a longer route. It won't be the fastest, but it will be a safe route, right? And I've tested this personally. Hairpin turn, yep, it rerouted me around. Weight of a bridge, not to capacity for this trailer, yep, it routed me around. Right? So imagine eliminating that pain point.
2023 Super Duty, so many amazing features. I'm amazed all this happened in 1 year. It is really going to be great.